Today I fucked up by spitting on someone. Hello there. I, 25M, was always a gym freak from July 2019, and from February of this year due to the pandemic situation I never went back, and after the lockdown is lifted and started my new job and went to a new location. After couple of months I started working out again, and today's my second week. As I was still adjusting to the new machines of my new gym, I was still following my same old routine workout that I used to do. So, as I was doing my final workout, I was laying down on my bench and was doing chest fly workout, and I was stretching my arms too low. As everyone who goes to gym knows that everyone will be the trainer to the one who does it wrong in their perspective. So, as I was doing the pre-final rep, he suddenly comes up on my face, and here I am all red-faced struggling for the final rep, and suddenly I opened my mouth and the saliva actually spurred on his face. I don't know if he took that friendly, but later I apologized for that. Too long didn't read. I spit on my gym mate while he showed up on my face while I was doing chest flies. Nice. Always appreciate a good old spit. God, that can be ticket or worse in today's world. If he wants to be a dick, can report it. Imagine farting when someone is trying to help you squat. Why did I get an app notification for this? Not corona friendly. Today I fucked up by thinking for years that the word fuck meant something different. I was homeschooled up until 5th grade by my extremely Christian mom, who was sheltered as a child. In my first few weeks enrolled in a real school, albeit a private Christian school, I heard something I had never heard before. The teacher left the room. One kid looked at another, held up his middle finger, and whispered "F you." Chaos ensued, and one other girl were deeply confused. "It's just the letter F," we cried. "What's wrong with that?" We begged other people to explain, but everyone else's lips were zipped. So, of course, I immediately asked my mama when I got home. She damn near passed out. She scrambled to find the word in the kids' dictionary. It wasn't there. Finally she swallowed hard, took a deep breath, lowered her voice, and told me "FU" stood for F-U-C-K. He said it was an extremely sinful and vulgar word that I should never repeat. It meant something, she told me, that was worse than anything I could imagine. The conversation was over. I got some pretzels and went to go process this new information. Needless to say, my mom's intentions of not letting me in on the big secret backfired immensely, because the only thing bigger than my curiosity was my imagination. Now I really wanted to know. At first I wondered if it meant murder, but no, she would have told me then. So it must have to do with the abstract thing that married couples do together. Was it doing that outside of marriage? No, I could imagine that, so it must be worse. I wasn't about to sit my homeschooled 10-year-old ass down at the family computer and Google "what does fuck mean?" So I had to make do. I mentally went through every weird Bible story I had come across in my time of homeschooling, because if it was truly unimaginably bad, it probably wasn't even in the Bible, right? So even incest, violent murder and prostitution were off the table. Horrified and confused, I gave up. For the next year, the question of the definition of the mysterious F-U-C-K word often surfaced in the dark corners of the back of my mind. Then 6th grade, it finally clicked. Fuck meant having sex with a relative's dead body. I wasn't sure of the logistics, whether it involved digging up their grave or killing them yourself, but I decided not to put extended thought into it. I was disgusted. This was why the F word was so truly awful. The older I got, the more people said it, and I fully turned white and wanted to vomit every time. It wasn't till sophomore year in high school I figured out what fuck actually meant. Fuck my life. Too long didn't read. I spent half my life thinking people were referring to having sex with the dead body of their relatives whenever they said fuck. Religious upbringing can really fuck with a child's mind. You're thinking of munging. Disappointed but not surprised that there's a word for this frown. Well, the word fuck is a shortened version of the word fornicate. There's a long story behind this that I can't talk about, but if anyone is interested, just ask. What is the history? I need something to erase munging. If it makes you feel better, I was taught through elementary school that shut up was a swear word. On my first day of junior high, grade 7, my music teacher yelled "shut up!" when our class wouldn't be quiet. I nearly fell out of my chair and was like, "oh!" For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge was a good album. Today I fucked up by thinking I had COVID and almost died. Obligatory, this didn't happen today, it happened on Tuesday, and I guess earlier. Also on mobile, forgive any weirdness in formatting please. This is sort of a live situation, but I guess I hope this will be a cautionary tale to prevent someone else from effing up like this. Background, I am currently in Florida. Our family is here and we are doing some business things in this state, so I've been here since August in a rental. I am not from here and my permanent residence is way up north with a very low roller rate. I have an 18-month-old and am a full-time grad student as well. I have a pretty full load with our business as well. So being tired and stressed is sort of our norm right now. So about 3 weeks ago, I started feeling crummy. Just tried at first. Then headaches. Then I got a cough and low-grade intermittent fevers. Then my chest felt funny, sort of like pneumonia. Girl, I was convinced I had COVID, except I got tested. It was negative. So I told my family about it and heard it could be allergies because I don't live here, a sinus infection, or just the flu. I figured, okay, I'll just stay away from people, take it easy, and get over this bug or whatever. In the back of my mind I still felt like maybe I had COVID and I had just gotten a false negative. I wasn't sleeping well and my chest was feeling pinchy. I didn't want to be dramatic over something everyone was sure was just a cold or something. It wasn't that bad and I was feeling okay otherwise. Because I was feeling crummy, my mill took our daughter for a sleepover, thank God. Then here comes Tuesday, trash day. I wake up to the trash truck coming down our street and wouldn't you know it, we forgot to take it out. I jump out of bed and run out to drag the trash and recycling out. My chest is burning and my heart is pounding, but I get it done and come back in. My hands are tingling. My coughing had been disturbing my husband, so I go lay down in the guest room to catch my breath. There I get up to go move some silly plastic lanterns in our patio and the tingly feeling comes back immediately. My heart is about to burst out of my chest. I feel wobbly and I stumble inside. I try twice to call for my husband before I manage to. He runs out and I collapse into him fighting to breathe. My hearing fades out and I can't tell him what's happening. I had never been so scared in my life. I had also never passed out or almost passed out before. He carried me to the bed and laid me down while I fought to breathe. Slowly I caught my breath and my hearing came back. My heart was still pounding after several minutes. I told him what happened and we went back and forth on whether to see an urgent care. He would have to cancel meetings and I immediately felt guilty and tried to convince myself it wasn't that bad. But I was still scared and we went to urgent care. At urgent care my heart rate was 150 plus at rest and even standing up made me dizzy and wobbly. They sent us to the ER. They did another COVID test and it came back 2 hours later negative. They gave me fluids. They did a chest x-ray. My heart rate stayed between 150 to 160 lying down. They then did a CT scan of my chest with contrast. In the CT, they found 2 submassive pulmonary emboli, blood clots, in each lung. All blood flow to my right lung was blocked and only about half of my left was receiving blood. My heart was working so hard to circulate blood that the right side swelled and was larger than my left. They said my heart was damaged. I had a myocardial infarction, heart attack, and didn't even know it. They did an emergency thrombectomy and removed 60 to 70% of the clots and put me on heparin, a heavy-duty blood thinner. For those that don't know or don't want to look it up, they make a cut in your femoral artery in your groin and send a tube up through the veins to the clot, then they suck out the clots. I threw up water at some point during the procedure and was so grateful I hadn't eaten that day. PSA, seriously, don't eat before a surgery, you could vomit and choke. Spent the night in ICU. They were afraid a clot would migrate to my brain and I would have a stroke or aneurysm. They were afraid I was going to die. At 28, of a freaking blood clot. I heard a lot of this shouldn't happen to you, you're too young. As if the blood clots didn't get the memo and are going to be like, oh, you're 28. Hey, cheers, bye. I don't mean to be salty, but come on, how does that help me? So I spent this week in the hospital because I didn't listen to my body, didn't take my symptoms seriously, didn't advocate for myself. My heart rate is still high, 98 to 130 at rest, but I was discharged yesterday on oral blood thinners and may have to be on them for the rest of my life. I'm feeling better, but everything is so uncertain right now. I can barely hold my baby. They say it will take 3 to 6 months before we know if my heart is healed. So, yeah. Sorry, it's kind of a bummer, but at least I didn't die. Apparently I was within hours of death. So that's something. No clue why this happened. Running theories being tested for our congenital issues, birth control, Nexplanon, or an overreactive immune response to COVID, getting an antibody test. Takeaway: listen to your body, go see a doctor if you have ongoing symptoms. You want to catch it in time. If I had gone in right away, it would have saved me so much pain and recovery time. Too long didn't read. I ignored chest pain and coughing thinking I was just sick, actually had pulmonary emboly and a heart attack, almost died. Glad you got medical attention. My friend's 30-year-old daughter died from this same thing, 6 weeks after giving birth. She didn't think anything was seriously wrong. Oh my word, that was an intense read. Fingers crossed for a full recovery. You should probably get tested for factor V Leiden. Good luck with the clots, they really suck. I hope you feel better soon. Hope you recover soon. Thank you.